Imagine this. You're sitting at your kitchen table. The morning light is streaming through the window. You have a cup of coffee in your hand, and in your mind, there's a dream. Maybe it's a business you want to start. Maybe it's a conversation you need to have. Maybe it's a book you want to write, a trip you want to take, or a relationship you want to heal. You know what you need to do, but you don't do it. Days pass, weeks, months, and that dream, it just sits there, waiting, quietly fading. And every night, you lie in bed and ask yourself the same question. Why can't I just do it? If you've ever felt this way, stuck between knowing and doing, between dreaming and acting, then this book is for you. Today, we're diving into The Art of Taking Action by Gregg Krech, a powerful, transformative guide that doesn't just tell you why you're stuck, it shows you how to move forward. This isn't about motivation, it's not about hype, it's about something deeper. It's about understanding the invisible forces that hold us back and learning the ancient practical wisdom that sets us free. So, grab your headphones, get comfortable, and let's take this journey together. Welcome to Ladder Up English. Let's begin. Blue Book, the core answer, what this book really teaches. So, what is the art of taking action really about? Here's the truth in one breath. This book teaches that action isn't about feeling ready, confident, or fearless. It's about recognizing that life is always calling us to respond, and that our purpose isn't found in perfection, but in participation. Gregg Krech, a teacher of Japanese psychology and philosophy, blends Naikan reflection, gratitude practices, and Buddhist-inspired wisdom into a practical system for overcoming procrastination, self-doubt, and fear. The book shows we spend too much time preparing to live and not enough time actually living. It teaches that action creates clarity, not the other way around. And it reveals that the small, unglamorous actions we take every day, answering an email, making a phone call, doing the dishes, are not obstacles to our dreams. They are our dreams. They are the building blocks of a meaningful life. If you've been waiting for permission to start, for the fear to go away, or for everything to be perfect, this book will change the way you see everything. Let's go deeper. Chapter 1: The Paralysis of Perfection. The Writer Who Never Writes. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah always wanted to be a writer. Ever since she was a kid, she filled notebooks with stories, ideas, dreams. In college, her professors told her she had talent, real talent. But after graduation, she got a job, paid the bills, and writing became something she'd do someday. Years passed. She bought books on writing. She subscribed to newsletters. She even set up a beautiful writing desk by the window, the perfect space. But she never wrote. Why? Because every time she sat down, a voice in her head would say, "It's not good enough. You're not ready. You don't have the right idea yet. Wait until you have more time. Wait until you're better." And so she waited and waited, and that dream slowly died. Perfectionism as self-sabotage. This is what Gregg Krech calls the paralysis of perfection. We think we're being careful, strategic, smart, but really, we're just afraid. Gregg Krech explains that perfectionism isn't a standard, it's a prison. It's the way our mind protects us from failure, rejection, and embarrassment. But in doing so, it also protects us from life itself. Here's the irony. The people who accomplish the most are not the ones who wait for perfection. They're the ones who act despite imperfection. Because action teaches, action clarifies, action transforms. You don't think your way into a new way of acting. You act your way into a new way of thinking. Practical application, the 5-minute rule. So, how do you break free? Krech suggests something simple but powerful. Commit to 5 minutes of imperfect action. Not an hour, not a masterpiece, just 5 minutes. Want to write? Write badly for 5 minutes. Want to exercise? Move your body for 5 minutes. Want to start a business? Research for 5 minutes. Why does this work? Because starting is the hardest part. Once you start, momentum takes over. And even if you stop after 5 minutes, you've broken the spell. You've proven to yourself that action is possible. Takeaway: perfection is a trap. Action is the key. You don't need to feel ready, you just need to start. Small, imperfect actions create big, beautiful results. Have you ever avoided something because you wanted it to be perfect? What happened? Share your story in the comments. You're not alone. Chapter 2. Naikan, Seeing What's Already There. The Ungrateful Son. Let me take you to a small apartment in Brooklyn. A young man named Marcus is sitting on his couch, scrolling through his phone. He's frustrated, stuck. He feels like life isn't giving him enough. Not enough money, not enough opportunities, not enough love. His mom calls. She does this every week. She asks how he's doing. She tells him she's proud of him. She offers to send him some home-cooked food. He says he's busy. He'll call her back. He doesn't. Years later, after his mom passes, Marcus finds a box in her closet. Inside are letters she wrote but never sent. Letters filled with love, worry, pride, and hope. Letters that show how much she gave and how little he noticed. And Marcus breaks down because he realizes he spent his whole life waiting for life to give him something when life had already given him everything. Naikan reflection. This is where Naikan comes in. Naikan is a Japanese practice of self-reflection. It asks 3 simple questions. What have I received from others? What have I given to others? And what troubles and difficulties have I caused others? Notice what's missing from that list. What have others done wrong to me? Because Naikan isn't about blame. It's not about victimhood or resentment. It's about seeing reality clearly.
Krech explains that most of us walk through life with a mental ledger that's completely unbalanced. We remember every slight, every disappointment, every time someone let us down. But we forget the 1,000 quiet kindnesses, the meals cooked, the rides given, the patience shown, the love offered. Naikan rebalances the ledger. It doesn't ignore harm, it just refuses to only see harm. And when you start seeing all the ways you've been supported, helped, and loved, something shifts. You stop feeling like life owes you something, and you start feeling called to give back. Practical application, the gratitude inventory. Here's a practice you can do tonight. Before bed, ask yourself, 1. What did I receive today? A smile, a paycheck, clean water, a text from a friend? 2. What did I give today? A kind word, my time, my attention. 3. What trouble did I cause today? Did I complain, ignore someone, create stress? Write it down. Be honest. Do this for 7 days. You'll be shocked at how much you've been given and how much you've overlooked. Takeaway: gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a practice of seeing clearly. Most of us underestimate what we've received and overestimate what we deserve. When you see how much you've been given, action becomes a natural response. What's one thing someone did for you this week that you didn't thank them for? Tell us below, and maybe today's the day you reach out and thank them. Chapter 3: The Practice of Gratitude in Action. The Forgotten Janitor. There's a hospital in Seattle. Every night, a man named Robert cleans the floors. He empties the trash. He wipes down the walls. He scrubs the bathrooms. Nobody notices him. But one night, a nurse stops him. She's been working a 12-hour shift. She's exhausted. And she says, "Thank you. I don't think I've ever said that before, but thank you. This place would fall apart without you." Robert smiles, and he says, "I've been working here for 18 years. You're the first person to say that." That nurse went home and couldn't stop thinking about it. How many people do we walk past every day who make our lives possible, and we never even see them? Gratitude as a verb. Krech makes a radical claim in this book. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's an action. You don't sit around feeling grateful and then hope it changes you. You act grateful and the feeling follows. What does that look like? You thank the barista by name. You write a letter to a teacher who changed your life. You do the dishes without being asked. You show up on time. You listen without interrupting. These aren't grand gestures. They're small, humble actions, but they're the actions that hold the world together. Gratitude in action is how we repay the debt we owe to life. And here's the beautiful paradox. The more you give, the less stuck you feel. Because action born from gratitude doesn't feel like effort, it feels like love. Practical application. The Thank You Challenge. Here's your challenge. For the next 3 days, thank someone you usually overlook. The delivery driver, the cashier, your coworker who always refills the coffee, your partner who takes out the trash. Say their name, look them in the eye, and say, "Thank you, I see you." Watch what happens, not just to them, but to you. Takeaway: gratitude isn't passive, it's active. Small acts of acknowledgement create ripples of connection. When you stop taking life for granted, life stops feeling so heavy. Who's one person in your life you've never properly thanked? Comment their name below, and maybe today's the day you reach out and thank them. Chapter 4: Fear is not your enemy. The Job Interview. Let me introduce you to Priya. She's been unemployed for 6 months. She's applied to dozens of jobs, and finally she gets a call. An interview, tomorrow, 10 a.m. She should be excited, but instead she's terrified. That night she can't sleep. Her mind races. What if I mess up? What if they don't like me? What if I freeze? What if I'm not good enough? The next morning, she almost doesn't go, but she does. And you know what? She does mess up. She stumbles over a question. She forgets a name. She leaves feeling embarrassed. But 2 days later, she gets the job because the interviewer didn't care about perfection. They cared about presence, effort, authenticity, and Priya showed up. Fear as information, not instruction. Krech teaches something powerful. Fear is not a stop sign, it's a signpost. It tells you something matters. It tells you you're on the edge of growth. It tells you you're alive, but it doesn't tell you to stop. Here's the difference. Fear says, "This is hard." Courage says, "I'll do it anyway." Most people think courage means not feeling afraid, but Krech says courage means acting even when you're afraid. Because fear doesn't go away, it just gets quieter when you prove to yourself that you can move through it. Action is the antidote to anxiety. Practical application: the fear inventory. Next time you're scared, try this. 1. Name the fear. I'm afraid of rejection. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of looking stupid. 2. Ask, what's the worst that could happen? They say no, I fail, I feel embarrassed. 3. Ask, can I survive that? Yes. 4. Take one small action anyway. You'll find that fear loses its power the moment you stop negotiating with it. Takeaway: fear is normal. Letting it stop you is optional. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action in the presence of fear. The more you act despite fear, the less power it has.
What's one thing you're afraid to do right now? Drop it in the comments and let's give each other courage. Chapter 5: Small Actions, Big Transformations. The Man Who Planted Trees. There's a story Krech shares about a man in India who planted a tree every single day. Not a forest, not 100 trees, one tree every day. People laughed at him. They said, "What's the point? One tree won't change anything." But he kept going. 30 years later, that man had planted over 10,000 trees, and those trees became a forest that brought back wildlife, cleaned the air, and gave shade to an entire village. One tree didn't change anything, but 10,000 trees changed everything. And it all started with one. Concept explanation: the power of incremental action. This is the heart of Krech's teaching. Small actions repeated consistently create transformation. We live in a world obsessed with the big moment, the viral post, the overnight success, the grand gesture. But real change? It's quieter. It's the person who writes 500 words a day and finishes a novel in a year. It's the couple who has a 10-minute conversation every night and saves their marriage. It's the person who does 10 push-ups a day and transforms their health. Small actions don't feel significant in the moment, but over time they compound. And here's the secret: you don't need a big plan. You just need the next step. Practical application: the one thing rule. Every morning, ask yourself, what's the one action I can take today that will move my life forward? Not 10 things, not a perfect plan, one thing. And do it. Tomorrow, ask again. In a year, you'll look back and realize you've built a completely different life. Takeaway: A. Small actions repeated daily create massive change. B. You don't need a perfect plan. You need the next step. C. Transformation is built one choice, one action, one day at a time. What's one small action you could take today that would change your life a year from now? Share it below and commit to starting. FAQs section. Your questions answered. Question 1. How do I stop overthinking and just take action? Answer: overthinking happens when we try to predict every outcome before we act. But here's the truth: clarity comes through action, not before it. Start with the smallest possible step, something so small it feels silly. Want to write a book? Write one sentence. Want to get fit? Do one push-up. The key is to interrupt the thinking loop with doing. Action creates feedback, and feedback creates clarity. You'll never think your way into confidence. You have to act your way there. Question 2. What if I fail after taking action? Answer: failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every successful person has failed more times than most people have even tried. When you take action and it doesn't work, you haven't failed. You've learned. You've gathered data. You've proven you're brave enough to try. Gregg Krech reminds us that the only real failure is not acting at all. Because when you don't act, you guarantee nothing changes. When you do act, even if it doesn't work, you're building the muscle of courage. And that muscle will carry you further than perfection ever could. Question 3. How can I build a daily habit of taking action? Answer: the secret to building habits isn't motivation, it's systems. Start with something ridiculously small and attach it to something you already do. Want to meditate? Do it right after your morning coffee. Want to exercise? Put your shoes by your bed.
The key is consistency over intensity. It's better to take action for 5 minutes every day than to plan a perfect 2-hour session that never happens. Track your progress, celebrate small wins, and remember, you're not building a habit, you're building an identity. You're becoming the kind of person who takes action. Question 4. How do I deal with fear of judgment from others? Answer. Here's a hard truth. Most people are too busy worrying about themselves to judge you, and the ones who do judge, they're usually the ones who aren't taking any action themselves. Krech reminds us that judgment is the price of visibility, and visibility is the price of living fully. You can play it safe and avoid judgment, but you'll also avoid growth, connection, and meaning. Instead, shift your focus. Don't ask, "What will they think?" Ask, "What will I regret not doing?" The people who matter will support you. The people who don't matter. Conclusion. Your next step starts now. So here we are. We've journeyed through the art of taking action together. We've met people who were stuck and people who broke free. We've explored the prisons of perfectionism, the power of gratitude, the truth about fear, and the magic of small, consistent actions. And now, the question is, what will you do? Because this book isn't just information, it's an invitation to stop waiting, to stop preparing, to stop letting fear, doubt, and perfection steal your life. Gregg Krech doesn't offer you a magic formula. He offers you something better. The truth that you already have everything you need. You just need to start. Maybe you've been waiting to start that business. Maybe you've been avoiding that conversation. Maybe you've been postponing that dream. Today is the day. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, not when you're perfect. Today. Take one small action. Send one email. Make one phone call. Write one sentence. Do one push-up. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. Because every great life, every great work, every great love story started with one small, imperfect action. And yours can too. If this video moved you, inspired you, or challenged you, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to Ladder Up English, because we're just getting started. Every week, we're diving into books that change lives, stories that inspire action, wisdom that sets you free. And we want you here with us. Drop a comment below and tell us, what's the one action you're committing to take this week? Let's build this community together. Let's stop waiting. Let's start living. Until next time, take action, be brave, and remember, the life you want is one decision away. This is Ladder Up English. Let's rise.